that we focused on having a service year option, making it the first state in this country that has a service year option for every one of our high school graduates. It's not because of cool. When I first looked at it, it didn't cool at all. But it's because it's authentic. And I believe it. I believe in this kind of political divisiveness and political victory that service will save us. And so I think that the best advice I guess I can give, and again, I don't get my talk about but the thing that I would suggest that people do is be authentic. And don't forget why you got in this business in the first place. And if you do that, I think the people will respond. Because I think they'll see that you care about them, you care about their families, you care about their legacy, and that you are doing everything in your power to be able to make sure that's going to be effective. And I guess, like we saw in our campaign, in our race, that that's good advice. You should be getting more to the party. Governor Westmore, thank you so much for going to Plymouth, America. Appreciate it. Great to talk to you again. Thank you. That's our show for today. Dan and I will be back with a new episode on Friday. Bye. If you want to listen to Pod Save America ad-free or get access to our subscriber Discord and exclusive podcasts, consider joining our Friends of the Pod community at cricket.com/friends or subscribe on Apple Podcasts directly from the Pod Save America feed. Also, be sure to follow Pod Save America on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube for full episodes, bonus content, and more. And before you hit that next button, you can help boost this episode by leaving us a review and sharing it with friends. Pod Save America is a Cricket Media production. Our producers are David Toledo, Saul Rubin, and Emma Illick. Our associate producer is Ferris Safari. Reed Sherman is our executive editor. Adrian Hill is our executive producer. The show is mixed and edited by Andrew Chuck. Jordan Cantor is our sound engineer. Audio support from Kyle Segman and Sean Davis. Natalie Herringer is our music programmer. Matt DeGroat is our production. Naomi Singal is our executive assistant. Thanks to our digital team, Elijah Cohen, Haley Jones, Ben Huffcoat, Holly LaBelle, Carol Pellegrini, Kenny Moffett, and David Torres. Our production staff is proudly unionized with the Writers Guild of America East.
It's exactly right. Make sure everyone really gets what Mary's point is that this isn't geared to a factual context. And so we have to be able to say the whole nation is under rebellion. Really? I'd like every listener out there to go, really? Do you feel that way? Or we're invaded?
Or even being generous, or not generous, but looking most favorably at the verbiage is saying anytime there are acts of violence during a protest, that's a rebellion and that triggers this. And that's not what the statute says, right? It doesn't say, respectively. It says whenever there is a rebellion. Now, it does say retains your rebellion, but that would still imply there are things in the rebellion approach. You're not sort of, I am prospectively authorizing something anytime there's protests that have individual acts of violence.
And that, to me, is where and the law doesn't do a great job at this, which is there's no fit between the people protesting and the acts of violence. You would need to, is it 1%? Is it less than 1%? What is it that's leading you to think that this is a sufficient trigger here? So there's a real dearth of violence. Now, everyone should say too, because, we're going to get a response from the government to make it the state of California lawsuit. There's sort of legal responses, which I think is what the government are going to need to do, but they're going to need to, I think, amplify how they justify which of these things is actually going on here, let alone how this is applicable. I mean, I know it's just state of this is one that every state could be suing because it's like this is globally applicable.
Yeah, and I think that, the point you just made is one of the other key arguments made in the complaint, right? Which is that the conditions in California do not fall under any of those prerequisites in the statute. Rebellion is generally understood to connote an organized attempt to change the government or the leader of the country, usually through violence, right? That's not happening here. And when you think about it, if it only takes a protest with some individual acts of violence to be a rebellion, I mean, there aren't that many protests in the country where maybe somebody doesn't do something that could be purported to or accused of being violent. So So it
We
really
can collectively invade the capital of the United States to prevent the counting of presidential votes.
that one I think really is a rebellion because I think
Yeah,
different
exactly.
That
No, I
it's
think
a protest. There's like some agitator, but the people are being peaceful. So if that's going to be a rebellion, you're talking about a massive crackdown on core fundamental First Amendment rights. Now, caveat here on everything. The courts traditionally have given incredible deference to the president when it comes to matters of national security, and at least in the Insurrection Act area, have given a lot of deference to his judgment about whether there is an insurrection or rebellion. We don't have any case law on 12406 to see what the courts will do. But one thing that the Supreme Court said with respect to the Alien Enemies Act is the courts do have a responsibility for interpreting the statute and its constitutionality. So interpreting the statute is key here, and obviously
Exactly.
courts can do that.
Right, and that just to, before we take our next break, which is, I want people to understand, courts will say deferring to fact-finding, to the judgment, to the analysis that the executive branch, absent clear bad faith, they're going to defer. But the courts will decide what is the definition of the rebellion.
The whole history of slavery lands on your back. So subconsciously, these young black kids and
do to change people's minds, or can do advertise by saying strong future Exeter. That's not persuasive. Why are we not as least as interested as capitalists selling sugar water in how to persuade with our big ideas that we think are going to change the world? It's not that there's no place for online as a great motivating tool, it cannot be the only tool it works, because there's lots of to listen to a brand new series of Lady Swindlers with Bruce Willis. New episodes will be released weekly wherever you get your podcasts. If you're in the UK, you can listen to the latest episodes a week early, almost on Easy Sounds. Welcome to Lady Swindlers from BBC Radio 4 with me, Lucy Worsley. This is where history meets true crime with a twist. Join us as we travel back in time and across the world, tailing scammers, crooks, and conmen, women from all walks of life who found themselves on the wrong side of the law. Today on Lady Swindlers, meet a magpie, a one-woman crime spree, a thief who stole and stole and stole.
An opal brooch, a silver gemstone.
A lady burglar. Remarkable story and clever capture.
An umbrella. A pair of patent shoes.
The nerve is equal to her physical development.
One gunmetal watch. One muff chain.
She takes everything in the coolest possible fashion.
Scarf pin. One veil. One pair of scissors.
This is more than a case of occasional sticky fingers. This is a career in burglary. For this case, we need a guest detective with particular skills, and we have a real life detective chief inspector with us today. She was a police officer for nearly 30 years. She's famously the inspiration for DCI Jane Tennyson, played by Helen Mirren in TV's Prime Suspect. It is Jackie Bolton. Welcome back to the Lady Swindler studio, Jackie.
Good to see you again, Lucy.
Now, are you ready to jump into this case?
Definitely.
Let's go. The year is 1896. We're in Shepherd's Bush, London, where all is not well.
For some weeks, the people of Shepherd's Bush have suffered from the depredations of a burglar who has succeeded in entering a number of houses and carried off the booty before the inhabitants or the police have been acquainted with the fact of the illegal entry.
Carried off the booty. So there's been a spate of burglaries in the area. Residents are on edge. Now we're about to meet a very important character in the story. Here's Detective Sergeant Knott. He's patrolling the neighborhood, determined to catch this elusive burglar. On the 13th of February, he's out before dawn.
at about 6:45 this morning, I saw an unusual light at Askew Road. I know the habits of the people in the house and the time they rise because it was broken into a few days ago.
He stations one police constable at the front of the house, another at the back.
I'm not
door. Mrs. Hawkins, the occupier, then let me in. I heard the door of the back kitchen being unbolted.
DS Knott sees a figure running out into the back garden with a clock under her arm.
She jumped over the wall into the next garden. She was very nimble. I ran up to her and said, I am a sergeant of the police and shall take you into custody for breaking into that house.
The woman replies,
I don't know what made me do it.
so a female burglar caught red-handed with a clock under her arm. Now, Jackie, do you think DS Knott has done a good job? Has he gone about this the right way? He sounds quite dedicated to me.
I think he's done an excellent job.
Oh, great, good. He's got the seal of approval from Jackie Martin. That is worth having. Jackie, you're bringing not only your detective skills to our case today, but also local knowledge.
Well, I was a DCI in Hammersmith in the late 1980s. I know Hammersmith and Shepherd's Bush very well.
Fabulous. And did you deal with many burglaries in your time in that area?
Yes, we ran a very efficient burglary squad. Our detection rate was extremely high, 25% back in 1990. Those were our targets, burglars and robbers.
And have you encountered many female burglars?
I can't recall any when we were running the burglary squad at Hammersmith, but I did meet one. So what happened a lot for burglars way back then, you could identify them by their modus operandi, so how they actually entered into the buildings and stuff. There'd be a pattern there. She said to me that her MO was to climb up drain pipes, so that was commonly known back then as a cat burglar, and that was her proficiency.
Very interesting. Well, Jackie, I want to know more about our female burglar and how she broke into that house in Askew Road. So I went out on surveillance with our in-house historian, Professor Rosalind Crane. We like to think of ourselves as Cagney and Lacey, and here's what we got up to on the mean streets of West London. Are you done with the donuts? All the kit for a proper stakeout here, because we are recreating the stakeout carried out by Detective Sergeant Knott with the Metropolitan Police, and the opposite the house in Askew Road where this burglary has happened. Do you think we've got better snacks than he would have done in 1896?
Oh yeah, definitely. The police in 1896, they're drilled men, right? No drinks, no snacks, no loitering and gossiping with neighbours.
Can you tell me what this whole area of Shepherd's Bush was like in 1896?
So it was a relatively new area.